Thank you. Just so you know, it's going to be a little tough. Pretty emotional for me. Being the mayor in Faribault has been probably the most life-changing event that's ever happened to me. So this is a bittersweet speech, and a very difficult one that I planned. There he goes. So that's pretty good timing, huh? Ben and I arranged that, so about 5 minutes ahead of my speech, that's Ben Redmond, and it's your aircraft. And for those of you going to the parade, thanks, it's kind of got me happy here, so I'm not crying. For those of you going to the parade, Ben has always started our parade since I've been the mayor. And this year, just a rumor has it that there might be more than just one airplane. So when you come to the parade, and there may be a few celebrities, Ben has redone airplanes for Harrison Ford, Tom Cruise, and several celebrities. So he's a great guy. So I want to say special thanks to the Community Co-op, their board members, their staff, Kelly Watts for putting this on this afternoon. As a lot of you know, we've had some inclement weather over the years, but today is probably the best, and it's saving for the best for the last. I've never had an air show during the middle of it, but I'm pretty excited about that. So Senator Hand is here, the minority leader from the Senate, so I think they came for you, Senator. Just a special note, so when I first came on as the mayor, this was in the city budget. It was a $3,300 expense. When we went through the tough times of 2009 and 10 when the world stopped moving, I funded this myself, and then I went into partnership with people like the co-op, with the woolen mills and other people like that to fund that for zero city tax dollars. So there's no city money going towards this tonight. I want everybody to know that, because I am not only going to do my mayor's reception, but I do want to talk a little bit about my upcoming exciting new adventures. So I want to make sure everybody knows the city didn't pay for this in any manner. Some special guests I'd like to say who's here this evening. Besides Ben up there, Senator David Hand right here is Senator from District 48, which is Eden Prairie, Minnetonka. I want to thank him for coming down. He was instrumental in me taking my next step, so I want to say thanks to him. Our Senator Vicki Jensen is here, back there. Representative Brian Daniels is here somewhere, right over here. Our former Mayor Chuck Ackman before me is over somewhere back here. Back over there. A role model for mine and another former mayor, Gary Kinseth, is here, and been a great role model for me, someone I wanted to be like, so thank you for coming, Gary. Mayor Dean Purdy is here as well. Where's Dean? Back there. Former Mayor Jeanette Hammond is here as well. Back there. Thank you. Council members that I've seen come in, Councilmember Kay Duchesne, Councilmember Steve Underdahl, Councilmember Kevin Barachek. They're around here. Stand up or wave. Who's back here? John Rowan just came in. Thanks, John. Thank you for doing that. Our Commissioner Dave Miller is here. Where's Dave? Dave, a good friend of mine from when I was about this tall, kind of helped raise me. And our Sheriff Troy Dunn is here. Back over here. And the police department's here too. I'm not getting all set. Our chief is back here, Chief Boland. All right. You're throwing me off of my thing here. You're not. I'm going to try and make this short, but I'm unfortunately going to apologize. This is going to be a long one tonight, so I got to keep moving here. Special thanks to the Chamber of Commerce. You know, my 8 years as the mayor, I couldn't rely on anybody more but the Chamber of Commerce. And again, I've been a great fan of theirs. Kim Anderson and her staff and Barb do an absolutely tremendous job. And thank you. Our Heritage Days Committee, Jason Rear and his committee. I'm not going to introduce all the members because I'll go way too long here. So they do a great job. They put this event on every year. It started 34 years ago with a relatively small event and has emerged into a huge celebration for our community to celebrate our heritage, celebrate each other, and have a lot of fun. So thank you to them. Also, as part of the events, I have a lot of favorite events over the years. The parade is obviously one of them as well. But when I became the mayor, Jeanette Hammond had the soapbox derby card. It was the first year they did that event. And Jeanette didn't do very well. But She made it to the finish line, but that's about all. So. Well, when Jeanette went out of office and I came into office, well, she was out of office already, but anyway, she had donated the car to me because I don't think she wanted to race it again. So I've done it for 7 years as I've been the mayor with my son Sam, who, when we started the Soapbox Derby, was about this tall. And we worked on it together with our ace mechanic Tom Schutte from Thomas Lock and Key, who's around here somewhere. I know somewhere.
Back here.
Right there. So now, when Sam became 16 years old, of course, we were in different divisions, so we had to pick up a second car. And now we race against each other. And that first year was last year, and Sam beat me pretty good. And so we've revamped the car, so come down on Saturday and see the car. Mine's red, white, and blue, and says Jasinski on it. And Sam's is black and says MDC Real Estate Services on it. So we have a little competition, so I want you to come down and watch that. It'll be exciting. I want to thanks to Roger and Kat Koopman, this year's Grand Marshals of the Parade. They're here as well somewhere. Thanks to them. Special thanks to my city council. I've enjoyed working with the city council over the last 8 years. We've had various members, obviously, but I've always worked, or the council's always worked good with me. I've appreciated working with them. And then special thanks to city staff. You know, I thought about this last night. I want to recognize a few of the people that really I felt excelled, but I didn't want to miss anybody, so I'm not going to excel. Our entire city staff is fantastic. They've been wonderful to work with. We're very proud of them as a council, and they provide a lot of great services. Next, I have to thank my mom, my brothers and sisters, and my nephews and nieces and cousins. I've been blessed. We're a family of 6 in my original family, and 6 out of 6 kids live in Faribault. I know there's a lot of people that say that, so we have a very tight family. A lot of them are here this evening. My mom's right here in the red. Okay. Wonderful to have them, and the support they've given me is tremendous. Our family bar is Grandpa Al's Bar. It's been here since 1929. I don't even know the number of years now, but we're coming up on 80-some, 86 or 87. They have provided the musical entertainment at the park since I've been the mayor, since 2009. So I want a round of applause to my mom and to my brothers that do that for them. And then a special thanks goes out to Tom McDonough. I've worked with Tom in Metcon and Troy Jasinski. And I have a second family in Metcon, and they've been wonderful. So a guy like Tom McDonough, who allows us as his employees and partners to go out and get involved in the community. Troy was on the Chamber of Commerce board for a long time. Jesse Atman's been in the Football Association. Travis Bober's been in the Snowgo Club. He allows us the time to do things for the community, and I think that's fantastic. I love going to work every day, and he makes it fun, and he allows us to do special things for the community. If there were more people like Tom, this community could get stronger and stronger because it gets people active and involved and gives back to the community. So hats off to Tom McDonough, Metcon, and my Metcon family. Sorry, this is tough. Also, when you have to rely on friends, you have a core group of friends, and I have a huge number of friends. I could never name them all this evening, but there's always like 4 you rely on. And if you need something, you call them, you get it done. And with the mayor, there's certain things you can't get done. You miss something here, miss something there, you need some help. And I have 4 of the most tremendous friends that I can call for anything. And that's Mike Salmon, Mike Brown, Mike Gilbertson, and Ken Borwich. I want to thank them. You need that support and you need these things, so I value their friendship very much. And then to my family, my son Sam and JC are here. Sam's going to be a senior, he's right here. I'm not supposed to point to my daughter because she gets shy, but she's 1 away, and Sam's girlfriend's in between Jenna Wetzel. Sam's going to be a senior this year at the high school. He's a 3-sport athlete, plays football, basketball, and baseball. He's such a treasure to have as a son. It's great and wonderful. JC's going to be a sophomore at BA this year. She plays volleyball and basketball. 2 of the best kids a guy could have. So thanks to them. And these are the ones that give up time for me to do things like this and other events. So my hats off goes to them as well. They're supportive of it. They've always been supportive of it and never complained about me missing an item or anything or an event. So thanks to them. And then I know you always love this every year, but my ex-wife, Shawn, is here. And she continues to be the best ex-wife in the world. Paul Moody's back there. And when I first said that, he came up, he goes, or maybe it was your cousin Chuck, but he said, you know, John, I never know what to expect out of your mouth. He says, but tonight, you surprised me. But again, with all my schedule, things to go on, and if I move forward to the next level, it's going to be even more. But Sean covers when I need things. She's a wonderful, we get along great. We've raised our kids very well, I think. We get along wonderful. So thanks to you, Sean. Almost done, I'm getting there, sorry. I've highlighted businesses, I've highlighted employees. I think this year what I'd like to do is look back a little bit in the last 8 years. And before I want to go into these, I want to make sure everybody knows that we've done these collectively as a community, as a council, as a chamber of all these things. But I try to look back on the things that I think we've accomplished in the last 8 years. I did have a little technical glitch, so when I was up this morning at 2 a.m. trying to write this list and not being able to sleep, I lost that, so I had to recreate some of it, so I might have missed a few, but Faribault Vision 2040, I think that's a great thing for Faribault. It's the most recent thing. Actually looking to see where the community is going to go in the next 25 years, where we've been back 25, where we want to be, who we want to be. I think that's a great thing we've done, which also leads into the comp plan updates, updating the C plan of what we want to be, how we do that through zoning and economics and things like that, so that's been exciting. We've done our first police canine dog here, thanks to Chief Bolin, and had our first police dog. It's been very successful. Chase, I was involved in helping some fundraising for that, and I want to say hats off to the community for stepping up and fundraising for that dog, so that's a great event and a great thing to have here. Our crime-free housing that our chief did as well is a game changer, I believe, here in Faribault. It's changed the way we live in here in town. It's really cleaned up some housing issues. It's been a great program, and that's been done in the last 8 years. Rental licensing program to clean up some of the rental housing, things like that. We've done a $26 million wastewater treatment plant upgrade. We've moved our police station downtown in a new facility. We've helped with the Faribault Soccer Complex. Faribault Main Street has started. The Faribault Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, I was on the original board to start that, which helps veterans and their families support here in the community for people who are overseas and things like that, helps their family members. The new viaduct just a block away was completed. That was a $9 million project. It took a lot of advanced planning. Actually happened before or as I was coming into office. We went through some tough times, the flood of 2010 and the flood of 2014. The way our community stepped up and got together and saved things, we actually built a dike around the Faribault Dairy to save $3 million worth of cheese. We did all kinds of things with that. Our city crew was fantastic, so I thank them for that. We had another scare in 2014 where we almost flooded out. Again, the community stepped up and we were advanced and ahead of that, and things went well. We've done downtown infrastructure improvements, about $8 million in our downtown between streets and sidewalks and water and sewer. Cannon Valley Drug and Violent Offender Task Force has been started. I wish you'd make that shorter name, but that's what we did, and it's been a great thing our chief has done. That's really helped with things around here. We've done some Alexander Park improvements that we've waited for a long time with the trail extensions, concession stand. Shattuck Schools has expanded to all kinds of different programs, so very exciting. So I think that's the things that we accomplished as during my 8 years. There's probably more. Lucky for you, my list went away, otherwise we'd be here till 10 tonight. When I ran for the mayor, my plan was economic development. That was my platform, and I think that's one thing that I think we as a city excelled very well in. I'm very proud of what I've done and we've done as part of that, but that was my focus. So I'm just going to quickly go through these things. This is actually facilities that have come to town or expanded to town that we've been involved with. Living Greens Farms, Westman Freightliner, Penske Truck, the Faribault Cheese Cave store downtown, Malika Auto Body, B&B Manufacturing, RC Superstore, F-Town Brewery, Marathon Multimedia with a move, Ashworth Factory Service, T-Mobile Store, Allstate Peterbilt, Southern Minnesota Woodcraft, Genio Turkey Store expansion, Affinity Credit Unit expansion, ISG's moved a couple times, and then I'm going to save the big ones for last here. So these are a couple of the highlights that I've been heavily involved with and engaged with. Rare Aircraft, as you saw tonight, was a company that actually went to Otana and we recruited back here to Faribault. Mike Brown, who's around here somewhere, a good friend of mine, and I worked together to bring them back to town. And the companies I'll talk have more global business. They have customers all over the world that they service from Faribault, Minnesota. The other one, St. Gobain, or Sage here in town, that was a company that had a study done by them by Deloitte. It was recommended they move somewhere else. we as a council, myself, Kim Anderson, and a few other people in the community, after they had decided to go there, met with them, and for some reason we convinced them to stay. They did a $100 million expansion along I-35 that is a billboard for industrial development. They added 160 employees that would not have been here. High-end, good jobs, so it was great. And that was actually done in an economic downturn. So that's pretty amazing. I think it's one of Faribault's largest industrial projects in its history. And then Faribault Foods, which is in the middle of this now, Gary Kinseth, I was involved in that from the council level and involved in other ends of that. That is amazing. And guys like Gary Kinseth that are hometown guys like me that are pushing Faribault for its business and industry to expand is phenomenal. So I actually want a special round of applause because Gary Kinseth was the key man behind that. So I want to say thanks to Gary and Faribault Foods and their management staff. That's about a $120 million project. Again, so these two projects are in probably the top 3 that's ever happened in Faribault, happened in the last 8 years, and happened during economic times, one during an economic recession and one in a rebound. So great projects for Faribault. And you guys all know, before I even say the Faribault Wall Mills, what I'm going to talk about that. But that's another one that a lot of people probably don't realize that the work that I did behind the scenes and working with these guys. Paul's here today, some employees are here today. These guys make me feel like family out there. This facility is an icon for Faribault. It has the name in it. Since they've come back, and it's been phenomenal as far as the publicity that Faribault's gotten underneath that name. Again, another world-renowned facility that comes based out of Faribault, Minnesota. So congratulations to Wall Mills. When I was involved, they had 0 employees. They were actually toying with the idea of bulldozing it because of the structural condition of it. They've stuck millions of dollars in the facility. They employ over 100 people now, and they give Faribault the recognition that we deserve. So thank you, Paul Moody, and your people. So that's really the exciting thing that I've seen happen in the last 8 years. I'll tell you, so when I thought about this next thing that I'm going to talk about, and again, this is kind of where my next step is going, and why I'm stepping down, or not stepping down, but not rerunning as the mayor. And actually, it's a little bit of a funny story. I got a call, and I almost thought it was a telemarketer. I got a call by the name of Mike Campbell, left a message and something about contacting people in this area, and I thought, well, I get hundreds of calls a week, and so I called him back, and he introduced who he was. He was representing David Hand. He said, you know, we're looking for candidates in District 24, and we've been talking, and your name keeps coming up. So he said, I had to give you a call and see if you're interested. And it took me very much by surprise. And I thought, me? You know, that's kind of a very nice thing to get a call like that. But so I did that, and I talked to my family about it, and that was in October. And it wasn't a telemarketer, and I had several meetings back and forth with the senator. Mike Campbell came down, Bill Walsh, there's a whole crew that came in I worked with. Had a tough decision. I had to talk with Tom, who's my partner. We discussed that. Would take time away from my business, and I understood that. Time away from my kids, time away from my family. But we thought about it from October through Thanksgiving, through Christmas, and really had to make that decision of what we wanted to do. And I went to Tom and said, you know, this is something I really, really want to do. And he said, John, this is what you want to do. I'm behind you. So did make the decision to run, and it got endorsed. It was a great thing, and very excited to run for the Senate in District 24. The experience that I've had as the mayor and working with businesses, hearing those things, I think gives me a good reason why to go. I think I know what people want. I think they want smaller government. I think they want less taxes. I think they want to see things happen up there. I don't think they like seeing stalemates, so I think getting things done. I think I've done that here. I'm going to try and do that up there. I'm excited about that. So I did another little checking on that. So the last senator from Faribault was Clarence Purfors. He was a Democrat and did a great job. I did a lot of things for Faribault. But it's been 27 years since Faribault has been represented by a hometown person here in Faribault. It's been represented out of Otana by Dick Day, did a great job. It's been out of Mike Perry there in Waseca. Vicky's in Otana. But, you know, I think it's time for Faribault. So I think it's nice to see things switch around. And then looking further, again, not to get partisan, but I look back in more history. And if I get elected in November, I will be the first person in Faribault's history ever, born and raised in Faribault, elected and served as a senator as a Republican. So something exciting to do. I'm looking forward to that. I've already got to meet with all kinds of great people from Owatonna, Waseca, Ellendale, Pam Caesar, who's been helping me through the process. She knows the process better than I do. As a mayor, you throw out a couple hundred yard signs, you put a couple ads in the paper, you go to a couple debates, and it's done. Well, this is a little bit more complicated, so she's helped with that. Pam's been wonderful. She's right here, and she is rock solid. So thank you to Pam. I also have my nephew and niece, Grady Harn and Sarah Jasinski, helping me. So I want to thank them. I want to thank my family and all the people who have helped so far. Jesse Ackman as well has helped with me from MDC Real Estate, so they've been great. What I want to ask you is in this election coming up, vote for the person you think is going to do the best job, who's going to represent you. I'm not talking parties left or right, Republicans, Democrats. Vote for who you think will represent you. And that's what I believe I can do. I think you all know me. I think you know that you can contact me. I think it's time for Faribault to be represented there by a hometown person. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that's what it's all about. I need some help. So people and volunteers, go to my website, jasinskiforsenate.com, get in touch with someone, help us out. We're looking for all kinds of help and things like that. Very excited about it. And that's why I'm leaving you as a mayor. I'll always be a Faribault guy, but I've met people in Owatonna and Waseca. I'm very excited to learn the same things I did in Faribault that I can learn down there. I think the direction we've done and changed here in Faribault with some of the things we've brought into town will continue on with the council and the next mayor. I think great things have started. There's things that I think I did well. There's things I think that I didn't do so well. So in the next step with the next mayor, maybe he'll pick up on some of the things that I didn't do, my weak points, and things like that. So I think it's a great thing for change. I've done it for 8 years. It's time for someone else to take on the handle and do that. So I again want to say thank you everybody for 8 great years as the mayor. I'm not leaving for the next 6 months, but this is I only get this kind of a crowd not very often, so I'm going to use it. So I do want to say thank you very, very much. It has been great. Thank you.